All right, so today I want to talk of the big five emotions of mad, sad, glad, scared, numb. Four out of the five, so basically everything except for numb, these are called the emotions of significance. They basically say what really matters to you. Of those four, I wanted to zoom in a little bit more on sadness in particular. Sadness says that something or someone really matters to you, and also that someone or something is far away from you. You no longer have close access to it because of temporary reasons. You scheduled a hangout with your friend that fell through, or you lost your favorite watch, and you get this sense of longing or loss. That's what sadness is really about. Now, sometimes that emotion may move you to try to close the gap between yourself and the thing or the person that you lost. So, texting that friend saying, like, I really miss you, I'll see you next time. Or taking the time to acknowledge the memories of the home that you moved away from because of this new exciting job. They're not mutually exclusive. You can have a good thing happen and also feel sadness towards whatever you're saying goodbye to. Anyway, sadness is something that signifies that something really matters to you. So the stronger your sadness, the greater the significance to your personal life. Now, you can be sad about multiple things. You can be sad about concrete objects. So, for example, the watch you lost, or your kid's favorite teddy bear. Leaving it at the cabin. Your kid is like really distraught. You can feel loss over relationships because there was a breakup, or someone moved away, or because just things changed in life and you're finding that the other person or yourself have changed in ways that y'all are no longer experiencing the same kind of intimacy anymore. So, concrete objects, relationships, abstract things. So, a person can actually mourn things that are more ethereal, things like dreams of what could have been. It never materialized, but a person got really excited and energized and hopeful about something. Well, if things change and that hoped for ideal is no longer a possibility, a person can still feel bummed about that or feeling more grieved about that. So, for example, parents losing a child to an accident. The parent can, as part of their grief process, mourn what the child's life could have been. And so just because it never materialized doesn't mean the loss didn't happen. It's actually a very real thing, but because it's more abstract, it's harder to trace, and therefore it's harder for the individuals themselves to validate their own pain and also receive validation from other people. So, concrete objects, relationships, abstract ideals, and the fourth one is secondary losses. Secondary losses are losses that come about because of the initial primary loss. So, an example is when someone experiences a breakup, the partner is the primary loss, or the relationship is the primary loss. The secondary loss are like your favorite restaurant that you used to go to with your ex. Like now it's like super awkward to be able to enjoy that place. Or some mutual friends you had. So any loss that comes from like a ripple effect from the initial loss, those are also losses too. And so a person from one event can experience many layers of sadness and have all of those be about different aspects of that entire experience. Now, you might hear this common phrase, don't cry over spilt milk, right? It's often focusing on that, you can't do anything about it anyway, so what's the point of feeling the emotion around it? Well, crying was never meant to be about the milk. Crying was never meant to unspill the milk. The milk was spilled. It still needs to be cleaned up. But crying was originally meant to be an expression of one's pain and to verify and validate the truth of what happened. That what should have happened never did, and what shouldn't have happened did. That's what crying is for. Actually, the other emotions as well. These are the truth-telling emotions. They say what's actually happened. So you spill milk. You still got to clean up the milk at some point in time. But it's still important to have a time or a moment to give yourself permission to actually acknowledge the reality of what's happened. Crying is an inherently physiological experience where the body is trying to adjust to the new reality of what's happened while also trying to hold on to the past reality or the past possibility. So if you find yourself feeling sadness, or if you find yourself having lost something, give yourself permission to hang with it a bit more. Now, that doesn't mean that you should shut off what's happening for you in the present and, completely bunker down. Still stay engaged in the present the best you can, but do give yourself permission to have those pockets of moments where you can acknowledge that something really mattered to you or someone really was an important part of your life. And in addition to that, when you come across someone else who's experiencing sadness, you don't have to particularly value what they value, but you can still sit with them and say, hey, because you matter, this thing that really matters to you, I will also treasure and honor it. See what that does for your relationship. So again, mad, sad, glad, scared, numb are the big 5 emotions. Of those 5, all except for numb are the emotions of significance. Sadness of those 4 significant emotions specifically says that this thing or this person who really mattered to me is no longer here, and I'd like to commemorate that. So I'll check in with the other 4 later, but I'll see you next time.